welcome
to another episode of Doctor Who Time and Space. And this week, it's the end of an era, as it is episode 199.
I'm Lightbulb.
And I am another household product.
I'm Dr. Cool.
And really, I'm Lewis Moon. Good, whatever it is now for you. So, we were saying that it's the end of an era because this is number 199. We're not leaving or anything. Nothing really will change much. It's just we're going into a new sort of set of episodes. That's the last time you'll hear that theme tune, at least in that way.
Having said that, Lou, although you sort of say we're not leaving, I am quite tempted to leave after having sat through Paradise Towers earlier on.
Yes.
But we will talk about that later.
Yes, well, this show is going to be a bit interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like our nightmare show, isn't it?
It is really.
And to fit in with that, we have our nightmare series of the revived Doctor Who.
We'll also be reviewing, if reviewing is the right phrase,
Moaning about
Paradise Towers, the Sylvester McCoy classic era episode.
Okay, we've got a little bit of news.
That's probably bad enough, isn't it?
Yes.
I think by that time we'll have jumped out of the window, probably.
Yeah.
So usually when we start off this show, we have a little bit of a chat about what we've been doing over the last 7 days. It's only 6 days this time because we're a day early on the podcast.
Yes.
Assuming you're listening to it on Podomatic. If not, if you're listening to it on YouTube, it's probably about normal time by the time I get around to loading it up.
But yeah, this is a day earlier. The good news is, yes, you only had to wait 6 days till this one. Bad news is you have to wait 8 days to the 200 extravaganza episode.
But when it's a 200 extravaganza episode, I'm sure you can wait.
It will anticipate you a bit more. So
what have you been up to? Either Doctor Who related stuff or other geeky related things?
Have you been up to anything?
I've got one to report this time. I've actually got one thing to report.
Okay, I'll start with you then.
Well, it's not Doctor Who related.
Okay.
It is the fact that The Walking Dead returned to the screens. So after a however many 2-3 month absence, I think it's probably a couple of months or so. 2 months absence. The Walking Dead is back. And I won't say too much about it, other than it looks like finally the fight back is going to happen.
Yay!
So after a half series of our intrepid survivors actually suffering at the hands of the survivors, they instead will be fighting back, and hopefully we'll get to see a proper Rick versus Negan scenario going on.
So you've got 8 episodes in this part.
8 episodes, yeah. What I would say is, I enjoyed it. It was a good episode, but it was quite slow paced for a second half return. Ordinarily, we get a lot of excitement in it, and I wouldn't say it was necessarily. It didn't feel like a first episode back. It felt more like a episode 2 to me. But there we have it. But it was still good. It's still good. I always like Walking
Maybe
Dead.
next week will be more. Like.
Yeah, I think it'll be one of these series where I think it will build and build and build until the end of the.
Do you think it will be a big cliffhanger again?
Whether it's a cliffhanger, I don't know, but there will be a big ending, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you? Have you been doing much?
I actually took a trip to my local Forbidden Planet this week.
It's not that local, is it? It's your most local.
It's my most local.
Yeah, I actually took a
Forbidden
trip to
Planet.
Forbidden Planet as well, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah.
In London?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Did you get
I
anything?
didn't get anything. No, but I did have a little look around. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't go to the London one, not as good, but I did go to the Southampton one, which is almost as good.
Mhm.
It's closer to us.
Yeah.
However, yes. Got a couple of goodies. First of all, I got 2 DVDs. I got Enemy of the World and Web of Fear, which I think are 2 absolutely classic stories. Enemy of the World's slightly better. but they're both classics and both some of the best 60s and Troughton episodes.
Enemy of the World is one of my favourites, actually. In fact, when we were talking to Jamie,
Yes.
Jamie, I've forgotten the actor's name, as
Fraser
I always do,
Hines.
Fraser Hines. When we were talking to him, I think I told him, I believe, that Enemy of the World was my favourite episode that he was in.
What about War Games?
Yeah, I forgot about War Games when we were talking to him.
Yeah.
But War Games is better.
Yes, but Enemy of the World
Enemy of the World
is
is still
brilliant.
good. Yeah.
I mean, we have watched Enemy of the World on the randomizer. I started watching Web of Fear a little bit. Sorry. Which means we'll have to prevent it being on the randomizer for a while.
It's alright.
Save some good things till the end.
Yeah.
But the handy thing is though, when we have a story like that,
Yeah.
we can both watch it, not necessarily together. Like it's a 6-parter.
There was that,
I've got a couple like that. It's a 6-parter, so when we have it, we can watch like 2 parts separately and then 2 parts together.
Yes,
or
that's true.
something.
Because I bought Web of Fear, didn't I, for you a long time ago, but it's only on my iTunes account, isn't it?
Yes.
So now you can watch it yourself in your
We
own
can, yes.
in your own time.
We can both watch it.
Exactly.
And also I got a little Titan figure from the newest series of those called the Heaven Sent Hell Bent collection. I've got 4 of those now. I did get one a couple of weeks ago for my birthday, which were the 3rd and 4th Doctors, and I also got one the other day with my own money, and I brought the a blind pack, but it turned out to be Missy, which is very good. I'm glad it wasn't like Ashildere or someone, because that's a bit boring, but it did come with a mini confession doll.
Yeah.
Would have
Excellent.
liked the Doctor or like the Fisher King or something.
Oh, so they're completely random? Are they?
Yes.
Oh, I hadn't realised that. I assumed
Blind
you chose the Misty one.
But there are some which have like the little marks in that Forbidden Planet.
Oh, right.
But I enjoyed a look around Forbidden Planet again. I took a look at some of the comics,
Yeah.
DVD collection.
You said the Dalek's gone.
The Dalek is gone. It's moved to the new Newcastle store. So
Ah.
if you live in or near Newcastle, there's a new mega store that's opened there this week, I think. So make sure you take a trip there.
Fantastic. What about your Big Finish collection? Are you still working your way through that?
I didn't listen to any this week.
You're not?
I didn't know because I've been busy.
Yeah.
And I didn't get a chance
Oh,
to
okay.
listen to Big Finish this week,
Okay.
which was a shame because I'm enjoying Marshfall, which is my current one. However, what I must say is I did purchase another Big Finish ready
Okay.
for a couple of weeks' time. I purchased Robophobia.
What's that then? Who's in that one?
Well, no, it's this month's listeners' title, so it was brought down to £2.99.
Mhm.
And it's starring Sylvester McCoy, so it's another one of his. And it's also got it's the first one with Nicola Walker, who's Livchenko in Dark Eyes and Doom Coalition, which are the Paul McGann box sets.
Yeah.
So it would be good to hear that. And it's also got the Return of the Vok Robots.
Oh, really?
So it'd be interesting to listen to that one.
Yeah.
Also, I must say, it might have run out, but I think it ends on Monday what's this Monday? Monday the 21st, I think. There's a sale on all Big Finishes.
Okay.
Let me just take a look at what ones are on offer. There is all 75 of the Big Finish main range stories are available in this sort of offer thing.
Okay.
If I take a look, it's on the 13th. When was the 13th? Tuesday.
Mhm.
Or, no, that was Monday. So Monday the 20th of February it will end. The sort of thing that's there, the Company of Friends, the Enemy of the Daleks, Brotherhood of the Daleks, Juggernauts, Kingdom of Silver, The Girl Who Never Was, The Gathering, The Reaping, Frozen Time, Valhalla, Medicinal Purposes, 45, The Key to Time trilogy, and also others, all at the prices of £5 on download or £6 on CD, going from The Wormery from 2003 to The Paper Cuts in 2009.
Excellent.
So,
there we have it.
sorry, that was a bit boring, but if you like big finishes, I'd recommend to get some of those in the sale, £5 or £6 on download and CD respectively.
Okay. Well, is there anything else to report on your update, or shall we click to the news?
No, we will click on to the news this week. Okay, so in the news this week we have a few things. We have our final set of class ratings, and we'll be discussing whether we think there will be a second series.
No.
We have some interesting news from Moffat about Capaldi's exit, and also some new sort of candidates for some of the people who could replace him.
Okay.
So let's start with that then. Tilda Swinton is now the favourite to become the next Doctor. As you may have saw online, it was trending on Twitter. You can, although it says here Pete Capaldi, this is now news that the Oscar-winning actress Tilda Swinton is now a firm favourite to succeed Peter Capaldi in Doctor Who. She's already been backed by former Time Lord Paul McGann, who I think said that at the last Comic-Con that we went to.
He did, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Or one of the last Comic-Cons.
Yeah. No, that's right, you're right, he did.
Okay, so there's... Let me like that. Let me look up Tilda Swinton online and what she has been in.
I remember, the only thing, because I'm not very up on my actors and actresses, I remember that she was in the Bowie video for Stars Are Out Tonight.
Right, famous for We Need to Talk About Kevin, Adaptation, The Chronicles of Narnia, and Moonrise Kingdom.
Oh, of course she is. She's the Wicked Witch in... that's right. She's the White Witch in the Chronicles of Narnia.
Yes.
Oh, suddenly comes back to me now.
So,
she's good in that, actually. She's very good.
yes.
Yeah.
Before we go into... I mean, she has been a favourite back from some past Doctors, as we remember from the London Comic Con last year. What do you think? Do you think she looks or feels like a Doctor, or are you not sure, or do you think it's likely or unlikely that she could become the first female Doctor?
I think it's more likely now that we're going to get a female Doctor.
I've got a
than-
feeling
than
we're
it
going
has
to
been.
get a female Doctor.
And if we're going to, and I've got to say to her, it's sounding sexist, because I don't mean it's sexist in any way at all, but if we're going to get a female Doctor, I would quite like it to be her, because she has a sort of... She looks like she could be the Doctor.
She
I know that sounds
does
funny.
look. She does look very doctory. I mean,
Yeah.
what age? What age is she?
Oh, I'm not sure, but she does. I think she would make a good one. And
Yes.
she's not too girly. I think that was my
No.
that was my concern. Is what I don't want to see a really girly first female Doctor.
No.
I'm trying to think of a good
Someone
example.
who's quite, not too not. I don't know how to describe
It'd be a
that.
very brave move if they go for it, because
It would
you're
be-
asking to be shot down in flames.
Yes, and it could be a big success, a
Mhm.
big massive move, which we may not necessarily get a male Doctor again afterwards, as it could be a new era for the show, or it could just end the show, depending on who they pick, how they're written, and how they're acting.
But what it could actually be is it could be something that actually brings the whole thing back to life again, because it's so different that maybe people would watch it again out of interest to see what happens with a female doctor.
I think it would be very interesting. I think it would be a good discussion point.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think a female doctor would be a one series or one female doctor experiment? Or do you think it would be like something that would have a long-lasting effect on the future of Doctor Who?
I think once they do it once, from that point onwards, there will no longer be any question of whether it would be a male doctor or female doctor.
They can just do both because
whoever is best for the role.
They will just once they do female doctor, nobody, unless it's someone terrible, nobody cares what gender it is.
Yeah, do you know, but I've been against the concept of a female doctor.
Me too, but
I'm actually, do you know, part of me actually thinks it might be just what the series needs.
It's quite. It would be a very brave move for Chibnall, and it would be very good. It would make this Doctor Who is all about change and firsts, basically. We're probably not going to get a real classic villain like the Daleks or the Cybermen or the Sontarans or the Master or the Silurians or the Weeping Angels or anything in the quite near future. Or we're not going to see any pivotal events for a while, so it would be interesting to see what happens.
I think what is fair to say is that we've had this gradual suggestion that we will one day get a female doctor.
Yes.
I mean, it started
since Tom Baker.
Does it go back as far as Tom Baker, does it?
Yeah, Tom Baker hinted when he left that it could be a female doctor that took him over.
Okay, I remember you saying that now, but I've forgotten. I was thinking more so during Moffat's era, where we had the Doctor's wife,
yes,
which indicated that Time Lords could change sex.
Yes.
We then had Missy.
Yeah.
So we've had the change from the second most prominent.
We also had it in Hal Bent as well.
Yes, that's right, yeah. So there's been a number of occasions where we've seen it happen now, which and that's gathering momentum. So
yeah,
it would not surprise me one bit.
It's a changing world. I mean, they were saying on the television that it's time for there to be, and online, they're saying it's time for some of the roles to be females, like Doctor Who, James Bond, I mean, James Bond would not fit.
It would,
because his name is James Bond.
You could have a female agent, easy enough. I mean, that was always my view. Up until very recently, my view was you should not have a female doctor, but you could have a female Time Lord.
Yeah.
Whereas now, I don't know why. It's just that the time feels right. I have now changed my opinion on it.
We can't have like a female doctor and female companion, though. Mm-hmm. We probably have to have a male companion.
Yeah, I'd imagine it would be.
It would be quite good to see male companions as well being introduced. Again, I mean, we haven't had a major male character as a companion since Turlough, so it'd be interesting to see that sort of chemistry again.
Yeah, she's certainly got that weird look about her. She's got a bit of a look of Matt Smith about her in terms of his features.
Yeah. I mean, here we go. Let's look at some of the thoughts on this moment. So Tilda Swinton as Doctor Who, that would be amazing, says this person. I would definitely start watching it again, says another, which was what we were talking about. Someone else says, I can certainly see her in the TARDIS, something different, and I'd be happy with that. And then another person says, oh, interesting, I wasn't particularly keen on a female Doctor Who, but Tilda Swinton would make me reconsider that, amazing idea. And the final one said, definitely, she's got the otherworldly box well and truly ticked.
Yeah, no, I think that's it. And it's funny that you said one of the people there said, I wasn't very keen on the idea of a female doctor, but this one does interest me. And that's probably where I fall in this.
Yes.
She does look like she would be a good doctor.
She does, yeah.
Be interesting. I wonder how long it's going to be till we find out.
I mean, we were talking last night, would it be before, after, or in season 10?
Yeah.
I hope after, I do hope so. We have news afterwards, but
There's an argument though to say, from the BBC's perspective, announce it first because it might help boost the viewing figures for the final series.
Yeah.
You know, you could do that, couldn't you?
Yeah.
When did... So Peter Capaldi was announced
in August.
in August, so it's after... No, it was before the final season with Matt Smith then,
No, it wasn't.
No?
It was before the 50th,
Okay.
but it wasn't before. It was a couple of months after the final season with Matt Smith.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see. I mean, it certainly might have to do that, won't it? On the basis of the
might
fact
do,
that
yeah.
it's been... In the great scheme of things, it's been struggling, apparently. I'm still not really convinced by this whole argument of viewing figures being down.
Well, we'll talk about that with Class in a minute.
Okay.
But,
I think it's a bit different with Class, but
Yeah.
with Doctor Who, I think we've got to remember that we're in an age where viewing figures are down full stop.
yeah,
So-
the iPlayer viewers. I mean, we had good news with the Christmas special, as it said in Dawn, in this latest issue, that most TV shows were up on their viewing on Christmas 2016 than they
Yeah.
were on Christmas 2015, including Doctor Who.
Okay. Yeah.
And other shows like Strictly and EastEnders.
Okay. Well, I mean, have we got any other views on other people that are being touted by the bookies?
We have had a few. Let me look. Bookies' favourites for Doctor Who.
I mean, last time Capaldi was favourite, wasn't he? In advance.
He was, yes. There have been a lot. I mean, it started off as the favourite as being Ben Whishaw.
Mhm.
That's
the guy from James Bond films.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chris Marshall was then the bookie's favourite around Valentine's Day. And Olivia Colman was also a favourite.
I think who else would be quite good. I can't remember the actor's name, but we were watching Batman Begins earlier on, weren't
Yeah.
we? And the guy that played the Scarecrow would be good.
He would, yeah.
Yeah, I
Quite.
can't remember his name now. Might look that up whilst you're talking.
Well, do you want to move on or?
Yeah, move on to the next bit of news.
Okay, Class. Final news of Class, unless we get season 2.
Okay, which we won't.
Probably not.
Unfortunately, I should say.
Well, no, we will get another piece of news about Class. It will either be season 2 or no season 2.
No, that is true. Yeah.
But the final ratings news for series 1 of Class have been released, and we have the final figures for the episodes that aired 2 weeks ago. So that was the Metaphysical Engine, or What Quill Did, and The Lost. So episode 7, which was the Metaphysical Engine, or What Quill Did, was broadcast at 10:47 and had an audience of 0.68 million viewers.
Okay.
That was a 6.4% share of the total TV audience. The channel average is 1.85 million. Figure is slightly lower than the initial. No, let's skip that. The programme was beaten in the time slot by Newsnight, getting at 0.81 million. However, it outrated Through the Keyhole, which had 0.53 million. Additional 0.20 million have accessed the episode on iPlayer since its release on BBC Three last October. The episode scored an AI of 82, which is the average for Doctor Who.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, the Metaphysical Engine is the most popular episode. These 2 episodes are the best ones of Class.
Yes, I think so, yeah.
The Lost followed immediately afterwards, and that aired at 11:33. It had a consolidated figure of 0.32 million, and that's 5.5% of the audience. The channel average is 0.82. The programme was outrated by Hospital on BBC Two with 0.38 million. Around 195,000 have accessed the episode on iPlayer. full ratings for the BBC One screening are going to be told to you in a minute, but no information has been released by the BBC concerning the future of Class and the possibility of the second season yet. An online petition will be available in the show notes at mrlewismoonadventures.weebly.com, and that's mrlewismoonadventures.weebly.com.
Yeah.
We'll have an online petition asking for a second series of Class, which has received over 1,700 signatures so far.
Okay.
Would you sign that? And then we'll talk in a minute about what we think about a Class season 2.
Can I just very quickly say that the guy that played the Scarecrow is called... I'm not sure how you pronounce his name actually. I think it's Cillian Murphy.
Oh yes, Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
He is been in quite a bit of things, I think.
Yeah, he's in Peaky Blinders,
Yes.
which I've not gone around watching
He's
yet.
most
But
famous.
don't you think he would actually be quite a good Doctor?
He would, yeah.
Yeah. Not that I've seen him in much. I mean, obviously we watched Batman Begins earlier on today, but he just has that. Well, I must have seen him in 28 Days Later as well, but I can't remember. But he's just got a look about him which I could quite picture as the Doctor.
Yes, with a
Yeah,
costume.
sorry, I apologise about interrupting.
Okay, ratings then.
Yeah.
AI figures. Let's put it like this. So the top rated episode was For Tonight We Might Die.
That's the final one, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the least watched episode was Detained, which was episode 6.
Okay.
For Tonight We Might Die had an AI of 70. Coach of the Dragon Tattoo had an AI of 71. Night Visiting had an AI of 78. And so did Bravish Heart.
Mm-hmm.
Detained had an AI of 79. And Co-Owner of a Lonely Heart, The Metaphysical Engine, and What Quill Did, and The Lost all had AIs of 82.
So it actually grew in popularity as it went on?
Yes, so the popularity score,
Yeah.
in terms of what people thought of it, was good.
Yeah.
Apart from the first 2 episodes, it was quite good. It was up to the standards of most Doctor Who stories.
Okay.
However, the ratings weren't that great.
No.
I mean, Class was the sort of show which we much preferred the idea of after we'd watched it.
Yeah.
We liked it more than we expected. But the ratings haven't been that good. And that's maybe because of the time it was shown. And they need to learn from their mistakes next time, if they have a next time.
It's the BBC's fault, as I said the last few weeks. Damn your BBC.
Do you think they'll have a next time then for Class, or do you think this is Class dismissed?
I can't see that they need it with Doctor Who returning.
No, because
Although
Doctor
I can
Who's
say
only
that.
on in 8 weeks' time.
Yeah, having said that, we could see it again if we've got a big gap between this season of Doctor Who and the next season.
Yeah, maybe at the
They
start of
potentially-
2018.
They maybe would look to do something in 2018. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that possibly.
Yes.
But I just hope they pay it more respect next time, because I do
Yeah.
think the BBC has not done any favours, which seems ludicrous because they're the ones paying for the damn thing.
Yeah. Ridiculous. But I don't think they won the second series, so this probably is the end. I won't be happy to see it go, but we have Doctor Who back this year, and even if it's rubbish, we've got Doctor Who back.
That is
So-
true. Yeah.
Class is something we won't need until 2018.
Well, you say even if it's rubbish, we've got Doctor Who back. But if Doctor Who came back with a load of episodes a bit like Paradise Towers, I would only watch probably the first couple and then I'd give up.
Me too. Apart from the final, I'd check into that.
But we'll come back onto that topic later.
Yes. Interesting news now. Stephen Moffat has said that Peter Capaldi came close to staying in Doctor Who. The 12th Doctor will regenerate in the 2017 Christmas special, but he could have carried on into Chris Chibnall's debut series. It took Peter a long time to make up his mind, Moffat told Broadcast in a new interview. Chris tried to persuade him to stay on for season 11 in 2018. He said that, "I knew it was a possibility that he'd leave because the Doctors tend to do 3 years. I thought that he might want to opt out rather than go through the trauma of change in command and maybe leaving a year later anyway. But I think he came close to staying. What do you think of this news?
It did surprise me when he did leave. I initially thought he would leave. Then as time was going on, I thought, well, maybe he'll stay for one series.
Yes.
But no, it doesn't surprise me that they tried to get him to stay.
Yeah.
Although, there's also, it does make a little bit of sense for there to be a sort of a changing of the guard.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, final bit of news then. We're quite light on news this week, really.
Yeah. That's because it's the rubbish episode. As we will explain.
Yeah. I'm quite glad because we thought we were going to get some really sad news this week. I was really worried because Peter Capaldi was trending on Twitter, and when people trend on Twitter, they're usually dead or it's their birthday, and I knew it wasn't Capaldi's birthday. It was just about replacements and Tilda Swinton and people who could replace him. And
it's a horrible thing, actually. I get this all the time as well, where you load up Twitter or Facebook and you've got this trending name. It's like, that's one of my heroes.
It's like Tom Baker was on there once, and it was his birthday.
Inevitably, though, it's not, is it? I mean,
no.
I've that a lot recently.
It usually says R.I.P. someone.
Yeah, indeed.
So, Chibnall says that future Doctor Who showrunner Chris Chibnall... Oh no. Chibnall has offered some insight into how he'll go about casting the 13th Doctor. Speaking in the Telegraph, Chibnall says, "We'll cast the role in the traditional way, write the script, then go and find the best person for that part in the script. You could go out and cast an abstract idea. The creative possibilities are endless, but I have a very clear sense of what we're going to do, without even knowing who's going to play the part." On whether Broadchurch cast members such as Bookie's early favourite Olivia Colman have expressed interest, he teases, "I can't confirm or deny any calls, text, emails or conversations I might have had. I've just had the most hilarious text from an actor I've worked with a long, long time ago. And no, I can't tell you who this is." Let me look at Chris Chibnall on IMDb and find out who that is. So, it's that worrying period where Doctor Who could be in the hands of could be in the sort of period where we don't like that Doctor.
Yeah, but I think that's always the case, to be honest.
It is.
I think that's always the case, and I think whoever's going to be the new Doctor, you've got to give them a chance, unless it's Miranda.
Yeah.
Because that would be a terrible moment.
It would be really, really terrible.
Is there anyone, do you think, that if they became the Doctor, and I don't mean this to be part of the episode where we go moaning about people, but is there anyone that would, if they were identified as the Doctor, you would actually question whether or not you could bring yourself to watch it?
I
would struggle.
Miranda Hart.
I would struggle with her, and I would struggle with Catherine Tate. Definitely.
I mean, Catherine Tate I find quite likely because she's already been a companion.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Yeah, she's the main one, I would say.
Okay. Any more news? Or do we move on to our main article?
I think we should move on to our main article.
Which is?
The Nightmare series of Doctor Who. If you tuned in to last week's show, you may know that we did an article called The Dream Series of the Revive series, where we basically go through each episode of the series and decided our favourite story. So, for example, our favourite season opener from New Who, and our backup, so our second favourite. And we did that for every episode. We did that for up to episode 13. and we did a special, and we did a Christmas special. This week we're swapping that round, and we're doing the Nightmare series. So we're choosing our worst episode 1 through to our worst episode 13, and our worst special and Christmas special.
It's just from New Who, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We've chose a backup for each.
Okay.
Some of these are easy, some of these are hard, some of these are the perfect thing. Should we go on to episode 1 then? Should I start?
Yeah.
I put New Earth as at my episode 1 nightmare
So did I.
episode. I mean, it's not necessarily that bad, but
It's okay.
it's probably the worst one of. It's quite a meh episode, isn't it? But
I think I quite like it actually. I quite like the story.
yeah.
But for a first episode, it's like what I was talking about with The Walking Dead earlier on. Is that normally the first episodes are really, really exciting, Big Bang sort of stuff, and it's New Earth isn't really that, is it?
No.
I mean, it's unlucky to feature in a bad series because it's not bad by any means, but it's probably the worst of the openers.
Yes.
Have you got a backup for it?
I have. I chose Partners in Crime.
Did you? I chose Smith and Jones.
Okay, I was torn between both. I went with Partners in Crime by a brief line.
I was tempted by Partners in Crime because of the Donna factor.
But Donna's quite good in that one.
But actually, I do quite like it, and I like the little cute adipose.
Yeah, me
Smith
too.
and Jones, I quite like.
It's not that
It's
brilliant,
it's
but
a fairly throwaway episode, but
yeah.
I quite like it. Again, it'd be unlucky to feature in a worst of, but it is probably the second worst opener.
Episode 2, a bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
I said Dinosaurs on a Spaceship.
And I agree with you on that one because it is a very throwaway episode.
Yes, it's very throwaway, and it's the episode 2 is usually a story where they go to either the past or the future.
Yeah.
And we call it the typical episode 2, apart from the Peter Capaldi seasons, I would say.
Yeah.
Or seasons 8 and 9, because I'm sure that we'll get the typical episode 2 back in season 10, but with the emoji one. But seasons 8 and 9, Into the Dalek and they're not typical episode 2. Beast Below is my backup.
Yeah, I went for End of the World.
Okay.
I think I prefer the Beast Below than
Do
End
you?
of the World.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's quite a good idea, Beast Below.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to put it here.
I didn't mind End of the World either, actually.
No,
So,
I love it. I not love. I like End of the World.
Yeah.
Um.
And I mean, generally, I found doing the second worst one a lot harder than doing the second best one.
Yeah.
Because quite often there'd be two that would be fighting their places, whereas usually, for most of these spots, there's one episode that stands out as being the worst.
Yes, there is usually. Okay. Episode 3, I've chosen
You're changing your mind, didn't you?
Curse of the Black Spot.
I've chosen Curse of the Black Spot as well.
And my backup is Victory of the Daleks, because I don't like Curse of the Black Spot at all. It's so boring.
I actually, anyone that listens to the show will remember that we reviewed Curse of the Black Spot for Our Sins a couple of weeks or so ago, and I found it. I'm sure the first time I watched it, I quite enjoyed it, whereas I found it a real struggle to watch the second time.
It's quite a struggle, yeah.
Yeah, and I put as my second worst Gridlock, which is a bit harsh because Gridlock's got some good things in it. It's got I like the cat guy.
Yeah.
It's got the face of Bo in it.
The Macra
It's got the Macra returning, yeah, and it's not a bad episode by any means, but it's probably still my second least favourite one. I've not seen Victory of the Daleks, to be fair. So.
Okay, no. Episode 4, I chose the Sontaran Stratagem.
Me too, because I think it's quite a poor story.
And second, I chose Daleks in Manhattan.
So did I. And again, I don't mind Daleks in Manhattan. I know a lot of people don't like that one.
Yeah.
But I don't mind it. But it's it's a bit average, I guess.
Do you know something? They're both written by the same writer,
Are they? Okay.
Helen Rayner.
Okay. And I can see
Sorry,
that because
Helen.
they've both got a similar sort of feel about them.
They have, yeah.
Yeah.
This episode 5 is a bit similar.
Mhm.
I've chose Poison Sky.
Yeah.
And Backup Evolution of the Daleks.
Yeah, and I've gone for exactly the same too.
We probably don't need to explain that.
I think the only thing that's worth saying is that the Sontaran one, to me, is quite reminiscent of what tends to happen when they bring back recurring characters in the RTD period.
Yes.
Because I'd say that...
Although there's the great scene with the Sontaha.
Yeah. I do think, though, that if you look at across the RTD period, the Cybermen are not anywhere near as menacing on their return. The Daleks, arguably, people would say that the Dalek is a really strong episode. Although, as you know, I'm not overly keen on that one.
No, you just don't like it because it's overrated.
Yeah, but generally, I think the Dalek episodes in this period are not anywhere near as strong as the old ones.
Okay,
And the same can be said with the Sontarans. I think.
Yes. Episode 6,
Mhm.
Lazarus Experiment.
I've gone for Age of Steel for the same reason of what I was saying earlier on about the Cybermen not being anywhere near as good.
I like Age of Steel. I think it's a really good story.
Yeah, it's alright. I've gone for Lazarus Experiment as my second one.
Okay, I've gone for The Doctor's Daughter as my second one.
Okay.
Lazarus Experiment I find is quite a meh episode. It's quite a boring episode. It's not really notable for anything, and
Yeah,
neither is The Doctor's Daughter really. They're quite forgettable episodes.
yeah.
That's why I put them in there.
I don't think they're necessarily really bad. I was,
No, they're just forgettable.
as I was doing this list, I was thinking that when we do the randomizer, we have a colour coding system, don't we? So when when episodes are really poor, they're coloured in red. And I'm not sure that Age of Steel or Lazarus Experiment would be red. I don't
No,
think
they
either
wouldn't. No, it's just we've just put them in because compared to other episode 6s, they get to this point.
Yeah.
The Doctor's Daughter wouldn't be red either. It would probably be orange or black. Episode 7 then, I put the Rings of Akaten.
Me too.
Don't like Rings of Akaten.
I like a bit to it. I like that. That was one where actually I think I preferred it this time around. I just don't like. It all goes a bit rubbishy at the point that the song comes in.
Yeah,
But
it
we
does
reviewed
go.
that a few weeks ago, didn't we? If
You
anyone
can
wants to
check out that over at Podomatic, Doctor Who Time and Space, and that is episode 194.
Okay.
Okay,
What
and
was your number 2 for that, by the way?
The Idiot's Lantern.
Okay, I had Long Game.
Okay. Oh yeah, the long game. It's
Mhm.
quite a meh one. That's quite a
That's the Simon
forgettable
Pegg
one.
one, isn't it?
Yeah, I like Simon Pegg in it, and we were talking about Simon Pegg and the possibility of him becoming the Doctor.
Yeah. Which I don't think has been mooted anywhere, has it? But
No, but I think we were talking about
Yeah.
that. So yes, my backup's Idiot's Lantern because it's not really very good. Episode 8, I've chosen Let's Kill Hitler.
Me too.
Not that's bad.
Yeah.
I quite like it, or I quite like bits of it.
But it's got a lot. There's a lot of good episodes in episode 8.
Yes,
Isn't
there's a lot of good episodes here.
there? Is that the place where you get Blink and?
No,
Or was that 10?
that's 10, I think.
Okay.
I chose Cold War for my backup. Now, did you?
So did I. Yeah.
Yeah, Cold War isn't bad, we don't
No.
think. We think it is quite good. It's not like the greatest story of all time, but it's quite good to see the return of the Ice Warriors, and
I like the Cold War.
it's one of Mark Gatiss' best ones.
I was tempted not to put a second.
Yes, because this one was really hard, and it's such a shame to put Cold War here,
Yeah.
because it is his second best one, I think, Mark Gatiss.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
If not third.
Talking about Mark Gatiss,
Yes.
number 9.
Sleep No More. God, this is. Listen, Sleep No More. We haven't reviewed it since it was first on.
Yeah. Thankfully, we don't have to.
Thankfully, we don't have to unless we really want to at the end of the randomizer. But Sleep No More is easily the worst episode 9 because it does something different. We applaud Mark Gatiss on doing something different, but it's just not that good. The supportive characters and the monsters are both rubbish, and not the supportive characters' fault. Just that they're written very terribly because they're just, you don't care that they die.
No, that's right. Yeah.
We like the actors though because they didn't do anything wrong. It was just Gatiss.
I like the way you said that we applaud them trying something different, and we do applaud them for doing something different. We just weren't very happy with what they did.
No,
we'd have applauded more if it had been something good.
It was the only episode of Doctor Who with no theme tune, which was very interesting. But, you know, I don't like Sleep No More. It's the worst season 9 one. Is it the worst Capaldi one?
Yeah.
Yes, it's the worst Capaldi one of his era, we would say.
What did you give the second worst for this slot?
I had Night Terrors.
Me too.
This one is purely because of its ending, basically. Because its ending's quite disappointing.
It was quite close to me because I nearly put Hyde.
Okay.
Because Hyde's a very similar one where I actually really like a lot of. Yeah. I really like a lot of Hyde. But
yes.
I hate the ending again.
Yes.
So quite similar between the two of those.
Episode 10 is which was quite a hard one which was quite a hard one for Dream series because there was really good ones in that. However, it's also it's torn between 3 for me, which there's a definite one which I have to put at first, which is Love and Monsters as my nightmare. I don't think it's as bad as people say it is, but it's not as good as the other episode 10s.
Okay.
I think you'll hate it when you watch it.
I put my lowest place one here would be Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS.
Okay, I was struggling with this one, but I had to go for as my backup episode 10 In the Forest of the Night because I just don't like that one.
I don't mind In the Forest of the Night, but it is my second worst.
Yeah, I don't like In the Forest of the Night.
Yeah.
You haven't seen Love and Monsters, so those might shift.
Yeah.
But don't like In the Forest of the Night. I don't really like children in Doctor Who, but so
Number 11.
Episode 11.
This
is obvious.
Is obvious, and certainly at time of doing this podcast, as in right now, Fear Her is the bottom of the randomizer list.
Yes.
No.
Until
and it is Fear Her.
Yes, Fear Her is our episode 11 because it's just so bad. It's the worst episode of New Who, but not the worst episode of all time, as there are a couple which are worse, like we'll talk about with Paradise Towers. And it's just a bit silly, and it's just a bit childish, and it's just a bit, it's just a bit too childish. And
I hate it.
It's quite bad, yeah.
I really hate it.
But yeah.
What did you give as your second?
I had
worst
Boomtown.
Yeah, I've gone Boomtown as well.
Boomtown is an overrated one, I think.
It's a bit. It falls into that there category.
It does, yeah. I don't think it's that notable. The Doctor goes on a date with the Slitheen.
Yeah.
It's just a bit weird.
Yeah.
Number
12.
Closing Time.
Okay, I have gone for Closing Time in second place. For me, I dislike Nightmare in Silver.
I've gone for Nightmare in Silver as my second place.
There's things I do like about Nightmare in Silver, in that I think the Cybermen have got that really cool power, although I think it's really tragically underused. I like the little dwarf guy.
Warwick Davis.
Yeah. I really like the opening bit of it. I love the bit with the in the
and all those reasons are why it gets to second place instead of first.
I think it's the bit that to me lets it down is I just really hate the chess sequence.
Yes, me too.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
And Closing Time was my second if I hadn't said that.
Yes, you did. Episode 13 then, the season finale, my least favourite. Not that it's a bad episode, but the least favourite one for me, just because it's not as good as the others, is the Wedding of River Song.
Okay. My least favourite is Journey's End, because I really, really hate the ending sequence. I really hate the ending sequence of this one. Means that Stolen Earth and Journey's End, it falls into my red category because I hate that ending sequence that much.
I loved Journey's End, Stolen Earth. I have to be on the happy side of that one because I really like that story. I like the way how it groups up all of the characters from the 10th Doctor's era. And it is a bit OTT at the end. I don't really like the ending sequence, but as a whole episode I like it. It's good to see the return of Davros even if he's easily defeated, and it's good to see characters like Sarah Jane again.
I just think since a lot of people have complained about Stephen Moffat's sort of endings to series, I don't like many of the endings for RTD's period. Because I don't like Journey's End, it's over bloated. I don't like the number 2 on here for me, Parting of the Ways. I really hate that bit with the quiz shows and stuff.
Yes, well...
And I don't like that really long sequence from I guess it's in the specials, is it? With David Tennant's end of era.
I have put as my backup, you may disagree with me here.
Yep.
Like I disagree with you with The Age of Steel. Doomsday.
Doomsday, which one's that?
Rose's last one. I think it's a bit too long-winded.
Okay, yeah.
I just don't like the exit.
I
like the battle between the Cybermen and the Daleks. There's some really great lines in it.
Yeah.
And it's great to see those two meet up, but it's quite long-winded, the ending.
The ending is, and again, it goes exactly down to what I was saying earlier on, that all of the RTD season ends. They feel like ends of seasons, but they're just so bloated and OTT that I struggle with them.
I think they're so epic, aren't they? Like, there's so full-scale things, like, you know, the whole game show thing in season 1, the Cybermen versus the Daleks in season 2, season 3, the Master becomes the Prime Minister of Earth, season 4, all of the companions meet up to fight the Daleks and Davros, End of Time, the Doctor faces the Master and he becomes every single human being on Earth. You know, they're quite epic finales, and if you can't deal with those, then you won't like them.
Yeah.
I do prefer. I think our best season finale, or episode 13, was not our best season finale, but our best episode 13 was the Name of the Doctor.
Yeah, no, I'd
which
agree,
is brilliant. And our backup was another Stephen Moffat one with Pandora Opens. But I really struggled with my backup because I really like all of those, actually. I don't dislike any of the final episodes, apart from the least favourite one is definitely Wedding for a Song.
See, we then went on to the specials, and because I've only seen some of the specials, so I struggled a bit with this one, but therefore my worst one had to be The Next Doctor, albeit that I actually quite like it, although I don't like the ending of it.
I quite liked The Next Doctor. Was it Next Doctor?
Yeah.
I quite like The Next Doctor, but it has to fall into my least favourite special because I don't like it as much as the others.
I really don't like the bit with the big Cyberman at the end, the Cyber Controller or Leader, whatever it's called.
Cyber King.
Cyber King, yeah.
Christmas special, I put the Doctor, the Widow and the Wardrobe.
Yeah, me too. Albeit that, again, I don't mind that.
No,
I quite like it. I enjoyed that episode, but I actually like the Christmas episodes that I've seen. I've liked all of them.
Me too. I like the Christmas specials. Mm-hmm. The one that's my backup is one you'll definitely won't like, and one that I find really boring, and it's not really boring, really annoying now because I've watched it too many times. The Runaway Bride, which is the first one with Donna, and Donna is I don't mind Donna, but I don't like her. I hate her in this one. Yeah. She's really annoying.
But if you find her annoying, and I find her annoying in all of her episodes.
She's even more annoying than she is in season 4.
Yeah, that would probably be my bottom one there. But I can't comment on that at the moment because I have yet to see it.
I've got bored of it though, so I really want to see your thoughts on it. but it's not that it's necessarily that bad. It's good. I like the Ragnos.
Yeah.
But just think it's a bit silly, even though it's a Christmas special. I don't like it.
Well, that brings us to the end of our actual our thoughts on what makes the worst series. A few things that occurred to me, if I may.
Yes.
Firstly, it was a lot harder thinking of the worst ones than the best ones, because
It was.
not so much the bottom place one, because most of the time that jumped out, but trying to think
Yeah.
of two bad ones was quite hard. But
It
shows
was.
that actually most of the time we like the series. The other thought on it was that, looking at my list from last time, the vast majority of the episodes that were the best episodes were Stephen Moffat ones. There
Yes.
wasn't too much from RTD's period in there at all. It's a lot more even on the worst episodes, albeit
Yes.
that actually there's more Stephen Moffat era episodes that I dislike
Yes.
than RTD's. And I think it goes down to what we were saying last week, which is that if you take out a lot of the classic RTD episodes, it's a series of a lot of meh episodes.
It
There's-
is. Yeah. There's not really many bad ones
No.
apart from Fear Her and Love and Monsters. Possibly are the only ones for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Carry on.
So, but I think there have been some definite stinkers in the Moffat era. But
yeah.
what do we do? Do we criticise him for that, or do we look at the quality of some of the episodes that have been there as well?
Most of the classic RTD ones are written by Moffat. 'Cause the main the best one from RTD, written wise, is Midnight, and Turn Left is probably second.
Yeah.
So both two back to back.
So I think that these are my final thoughts on it. Really, is that I still think it demonstrates to me that I prefer Moffat's era, but I do think it also shows that at its weakest, there's more throwaway episodes during
Yes,
Moffat's era as
there
well.
are. Okay, is that it then?
I think that's it. Yeah.
Well, that's our end of that couple of articles. We will revisit the best and worst series in the second half of 2017 to update it with season 10 episodes. I mean, I don't know yet whether we're going to get, because we don't have synopsises until about 2 weeks before they air, but I don't know whether they're going to be good, bad or mares. Mostly.
Yeah, which we shall find
I guess
out.
they'll be mostly sort of middling in this series.
Yeah,
but
we shall see.
We'll
Time will
see.
tell.
We'll see, and then we will revisit this article. We will revisit the 6-episode challenge. Revisit other things like that later on.
Good.
Yes.
Okay, then shall we move on to our final article today?
Yes. And that is a review of Paradise Towers. Sorry, that's coming at me. So here we are at the point which
Point of no return.
we're kind of happy about, because the watching period is over for this story, and we're kind of happy because what we're going to be announcing as our special 200th episode story is a good one, but we have here. Well, I'll talk about our opinion later on about this story. First, can you offer a bit of a synopsis? I mean, this is our first Sylvester McCoy story on the randomizer. So we've watched, apart from Paul McGann, we've watched a story from each Doctor. Can you offer a bit of a synopsis?
Yeah, I think first of all, we should first state that we now hate the randomizer for selecting randomly Paradise Towers for us. It is possibly the worst episode of Doctor Who ever. But in terms of plot, this one starts with the Doctor and possibly the worst companion ever, Mel,
Sorry,
searching
Bobby.
desperately for a swimming pool. for whatever reason, and they land in this place called Paradise Towers, which is supposed to be this big luxurious 22nd century apartment, but in fact has actually sort of fallen into disrepair. The building is divided into, well, it's got quite a number of floors on it. I can't remember how many in total. It was
Like
300 and something, wasn't it?
20 or something.
But it's divided between these roaming gangs of young girls that are called Kangs, and you've got them grouped by different colours. And I can't remember whether there's more than two, but
Red, blue, and
we
yellow.
basically see them in red and blue. There's yellow ones as well, was there?
Yeah, but we
We didn't see them, did
them.
we?
We only saw one because they'd all been killed or something.
Ah, right, okay. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So yeah. So there's also then these group of sort of police type people called the caretakers, and them and the Kangs, and in fact everybody, are being tracked down and killed by this robotic cleaner. So we've got this chief caretaker. So as I said, the caretakers are the police. The chief caretaker is played by Richard Briers, and he sends a squad of the caretakers to arrest Red Kangs. And in doing so, the Doctor and Mal, who have just recently met with the Red Kangs, are captured. Mel manages to escape, and she heads off to one of the occupied apartments. And then inside that, there's two old lady residents, or Resies as they're called Tilda and Tabby. And they basically tell her that all the men left the tower to fight a war, and therefore that's the reason why all we had were children, the elderly, and I guess all these female Kangs. There's only one man left still alive, and that's this guy called Pex, who puts himself forward as a would-be hero, but is actually a coward. Meantime, Doctor meets Chief Caretaker, and who identifies him as being the great architect who was the designer of Paradise Towers, but they soon find that actually they don't like him very much at all, and they ask for him to be killed. And does that give enough, really, as a background story?
Don't want to hear any more. I'm disgusted. Why am I a Doctor Who fan? That's why this show's been like the most ranty show. I mean, we hate to rant about Doctor Who, but this show has been a show where we talked about the most negative things ever. And in Doctor Who, I'll start by saying this is still from last time I watched it my least favourite Doctor Who episode of all time, and it was even worse the second time round. It's just dreadful. What did Doctor Who become after? I mean, we had the War Games last week, and that was fantastic. And then, you know, you have such classics up to like Kaiser Androzani, and then it just slips so much.
I just think seeing this episode, seeing Paradise Towers, I got me into my head that the person that put Paradise Towers together actually wanted Doctor Who to be taken off the air. It was so bad that it looked like a deliberate ploy to get everybody to hate him, because it is truly a terrible, terrible episode.
It is terrible. We were saying it makes Fear Her look like Genesis of the Daleks, because it is so terrible. It is. There's not really any good monsters. The companions are awful. The Kangs are really annoying. There's everything that's good about the story is ruined in the trailer, and there's nothing good about the story. So it's, but
we both made the comment that it looks like it has the feel of a Harry Hill programme,
yes.
And Harry Hill's great. You know, we love Harry Hill, but Harry Hill was meant to be stupid. This is like a unfunny version of the Harry Hill show without Harry Hill in it.
I know.
You know, if it was Harry Hill show, I think it would have worked.
It would have done as a Doctor Who sketch.
It was awful. It had truly terrible villains in it.
Yeah.
In that the caretakers were just awful. They were stupid and OTT. The robots not only looked rubbish, as to be fair, a lot of the classic Doctor robots looked rubbish, but
they didn't do anything.
Yeah, and that one going along going hungry all the time
Yeah.
was just really irritating. It had this group of old ladies that were possibly cannibals, I'm not sure, but they I don't know, they looked like they were sort of like something like Coronation Street.
Yeah, I know. They were
in
they were
space.
old biddies who were just eating people, and they're useless because they get killed really easily.
And then the Kangs were just embarrassing to listen
Yeah,
to.
the cowardly cutlet.
It's horrible, isn't it?
It's just a horrible story.
I think I
It's
said to you.
torture.
I think I said to you that to me this looked like children's television at its worst.
It did. It was one of the worst things I've ever sat through.
Yeah.
I hate to say this about Doctor Who, because Doctor Who is my favourite television show, but there are some god-awful episodes out here, and this is, in my opinion, the worst. There are some people who think there are worse episodes, and there are some which come very, very close, if not are just as bad as this episode.
It's I mean I guess it's supposedly, well you know better than I, it's Sylvester McCoy's first episode where he's properly sort of recovered from the
Yes.
whole regeneration process. So I guess in many ways it's the first glance at what the Seventh Doctor is, and it's
It
not
is,
a very
yeah.
good impression.
No, it isn't. It's not. This season is the worst series. We have Time in the Rani, which is utterly awful, which is just as bad, if not slightly worse than this story. You've got Delta and the Bannerman, which I haven't watched, but from one clip or a couple of clips, I can tell it's going to be terrible. Dragonfire looks tiny bit better, but it still looks terrible compared to most episodes, but compared to those ones, it's the best one.
It's one of those things where I can see where they were going with it. They were obviously trying to make it. There'd been all those concerns about Doctor Who getting too scary or whatever, so they decided to try and make it more family friendly. But in doing so, it lost everything that made Doctor Who what it should be, which
Yes,
is to be a program where you know, the whole thing of people hiding behind the sofa because of Doctor Who. The only reason I'd be hiding behind the sofa with this episode is that I couldn't watch it.
Yes, I'd
I'll
go
be
out
hiding
the
behind
room.
I'd be hiding behind the sofa and sticking bits of cheese in my ears.
I
So
just-
I don't think I can
yeah,
hear it either.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
This is your first. I mean, you have watched the Happiness Patrol,
Yes. Yeah.
and do you like that one?
I like the Candyman, but it's crap. To be fair, it's
Yeah.
rubbish. I mean, the Candyman's rubbish as well. But there's something I like about him, and I don't know why.
Because he's funny.
Yeah, but it is again. It's an awful episode.
It is awful. From these two stories, I mean, you've seen a bit of Remembrance of the Daleks quite a few years ago, but I don't think you'll remember it. But from these two stories, you don't really get a good interpretation of what Syl's era is. I mean, there are some classics. There is Remembrance, there is Curse of Fenric, there's Survival, Battlefield, Ghostlight, all things like that.
I like Sylvester McCoy. I like him.
Yeah, he is a good doctor, and it's not his fault in this. It's just everything else.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, it's got that added disadvantage
Yeah.
coming from the 80s
Yes.
as well, which everything looks pretty tacky.
But
in
if
the
this was from, say, New Who, we'd hate it. If this was from the 70s or 60s, we'd hate it.
So, the big questions for me:
Yes.
too good, too bad.
Okay.
So, in this section, we think of two things that are good about it and two things that are bad about it.
Okay, two good things then. Good's very hard for this story, as it's my least favourite story ever. But I'm going to say the best bit about this episode for me is Sylvester McCoy, because he's the only thing that's good about it. It's not his fault.
Yeah, I was jokingly going to say the fact that it only had four episodes and wasn't a 10-parter or something like that. But I think in reality, what I do like about it, I like the basic concept of Paradise Towers and there being this place which is built as this really luxurious, or certainly in terms of the advertisements for it, built this really sort of luxurious place which has fallen into disrepair with gang warfare and everything going on. As a concept, I think it's really, really good. But the actuality of it is very, very poor.
Okay, bad.
Where do we start?
Should I say one?
Yeah, you go first. Yeah.
Okay, monsters,
Mm-hmm.
villains, all terrible. We talked about that earlier. The wall schoolers, the caretakers, the resis, the swimming pool monsters. They're all terrible.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'm going to go for. I could go for so many things. I mean, in fact, you could widen it out from villains just to be characters, because, characters called things like fire
escape, bin liner, and air duct.
Yeah. Hence my light bulb quote at the beginning.
And my other household product name, which is not original.
I'm trying to think. What could I say about this? Because there's just so many things. I think. I'm going to go for Mal.
Yeah, I don't like Mel.
Because
she's so annoying.
She's annoying. She's stupid. I mean,
she's screaming.
The whole thing about all the trouble that they're going on, and she still wants to get into that swimming pool.
I know.
The way that she is when she's talking to these old women, and you just think, how gullible are you, woman?
I know. They're talking like, you're not going to leave or something, and she's just carrying on.
She's certainly no. She's no Clara, is she?
No, she's no Jamie.
I wonder if the Doctor would have gone to the pains that he went to try and bring Clara back, whether he would have done the same during the time when he was travelling around the TARDIS with Mel.
I don't think so.
I think to be fair to Bonnie Langford, she plays the role quite well.
She does, but it's just a writing for
part.
her, and she's just a not very good character or companion.
And it's just all based around her screaming in the most annoying fashion.
Yes, just so loud.
I could say so many things. I could have said cliffhangers. The cliffhangers are appalling in this, aren't
they? They are. They're just so unoriginal.
Yeah.
They're just so easily get out of.
And it's so predictable. There was bits. You're not really sure whether they're just playing it for laughs or not. But there's a bit when they're in the lift when she sort of says, "Oh, all we need now is for it to go dark," and then all of a sudden the lights go off, and that caretaker guy, when he's arrested them, and I can't remember what he says, but he makes some comment, just the most over the top at the end of it. It's take me away and shoot me.
I wish I was eaten by the resis at the end of this one. Should we go to the Twitter polls then?
Yeah, okay.
The Twitter polls have given us some quite shocking statistics. I set them up on Wednesday, so they've given us 2 days.
So what are the options you get on here?
You get fantastic, good, alright and terrible.
Okay.
Nobody's gone for alright.
Okay.
Should I start from...
Start from the bottom.
25% have gone for terrible.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 25% have also gone for fantastic.
Okay.
And 50% have gone for good. So the majority of people have gone for it's a good episode.
So we're
so we like to hear your opinions.
We
would like to see what you do in the comments. Let us know at DRWho time and space.
We do like to hear your comments, folks, but this time you're wrong, I'm afraid. You're all wrong.
You're all wrong.
Sorry, 50% of you are wrong. Actually, it's more than 50%, because that's 50% of people who said it was good. If you add in...
75% of people are wrong.
75...
Well done to the 20... No. No,
It is all about opinion.
It is all about opinion. We'd love to hear what you like about the story, or what you don't like about the story, and we'll tell you all the contact details at the end.
It's definitely the worst Doctor Who episode I've ever seen.
And it's
in my opinion.
It's the worst one I've ever seen, in my opinion. The worst one I can remember, at least.
Yeah. Okay. So do we have to do scores then?
Yes. Oh no. Monsters and villains.
2.
Character development.
There's not really any character there, but there's not in some that I've scored higher. But I'll give it 6.
8. Excitement.
Excitement. Where do you start? I'll give 5.
Pace.
Pace. Actually, the pace isn't too bad. Actually, it stays mind-numbingly awful throughout the whole of it. 6.
And story.
Story. The stupid thing about it is the actual basics of the story aren't so bad. It's just hammed up incredibly.
Give it a 1 because then we don't get into the 20s.
No, I can give it a 1. I'm gonna give it to 5. I think.
Okay. So that is a 24. 24 out of 50. So that's less than half, which means it's a terrible to bad episode.
It was really bad. I really struggled to watch it. I found that we watched 4 parts in total. I found
Yes.
the first 2 parts particularly difficult to
Yeah,
watch.
they were worse. They are the worst
Yeah.
parts, I think.
I think the last part isn't so bad,
It's still got the bit at the swimming pool.
and it's still got the Kangs being very irritating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an all
I
part.
tell you what, I'm glad that episode's finished.
Me too.
The one good thing about us having watched that is that we can't watch it again on the randomizer.
Yeah,
because,
and we don't have to watch Paradise Towers ever again.
What makes it worse is the fact that because Lou didn't already have Paradise Towers, I had to buy it especially for us to watch it.
Because I refused to pay for it. So I could have done, but I refused. It could have been on the BBC store for cheaper.
Yeah, but it wasn't there. It wasn't there. We had to pay full price on Amazon. Never mind. So that probably wraps up
Yes.
our thoughts on this. No, we've got no randomiser this week.
No.
Do you want to explain why?
So, next week we're on to our special episode 200 edition, where everything's going to change. As a celebration of the podcast, we are going to be looking at one of the most special stories of Doctor Who in its history. We probably may have watched In an Earthly Child if it hadn't come up on the randomizer already. But we have chosen Day of the Doctor, so we fixed the randomizer so that we could watch that, the 50th anniversary special, next week.
I'm looking forward to seeing that again because I've only
Yes.
seen it the once. I've seen it 1 and a bit times. So I saw a bit of it again. But
Yes.
very much looking forward for that one. What else do we have on next week's show?
So it's episode 200, as I said. We have our most memorable moments in Doctor Who history.
We'll be watching Day of the Doctor and talking about it.
Yeah, we will be looking at the latest news and views.
And am I allowed to mention the other thing or not?
Do the other thing first.
We'll be pressing the magic randomizer.
And we will be seeing the return of Quiz or Question
Fantastic.
for a one-off special edition. So it's your last chance for at least, for a while at least, because we stopped doing Quiz or Question a little while ago, and we haven't done the game shows recently. We will be releasing a mini Who to Face later on in the week, but Quiz or Question, we must say that please go to @drwho time unspace and submit us a quiz or question. If you're not familiar with the concept, basically just send through a question about Doctor Who or a quiz question about Doctor Who that you want us to answer about either our opinion in a question, which don't tell us which one it is, or a sort of, some sort of trivia in a quiz.
Okay, good. How can people contact us if they want to tell us why we are wrong about Paradise Towers being rubbish?
Go to @drwho time unspace to let us know what you thought about Paradise Towers, Day of the Doctor, your Nightmare series, or memorable moments, or quiz or question.
You can also tweet me if you want, and I'm Mark with a C, so that's Mark Freak Geek.
So you can do anything there. You can talk about Doctor Who or any other fandoms that he may like.
Yeah.
Or I may like.
Or you can contact us on YouTube,
@Miss Lucy,
Podomatic,
Doctor Who Time and Space.
and or you can come around our house and have a cup of tea with us.
Yes. Or on iTunes and Doctor Who Podcast Alliance, you can catch us there.
Thank you very much for listening, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed us talking about the worst moments of Doctor Who and the worst episode of all time.
Okay, well, I'm Lewis Bean.
I'm Doctor Who. I'm Doctor Who. I'm Dr. Ian. I'm Dr. Cool / Lightbulb.
And and I'm Cardboard Box. That's the end of our show. It's an unmissable show next week. We're back to our normal Saturday format, so we're here on the 25th of February for episode 200, a new era of Doctor Who Time and Space. We'll see you then, same time,
same space.
Goodbye!